So I think it's marry Leonardo, Michelangelo, kill Raphael, and Donatello just gets left out.
Look, he's got his work.
He does.
He's married to his job.
Yeah, but I do think your place would be super tricked out if you were to marry.
Yeah, but like in a janky way.
Yeah,
It's not like nice.
It would be like a
really
Mad
like
Man's
Honey, I
Workshop.
Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, it'd be all messy. Exactly. Because like think about what he wore in the last movie.
Okay, yeah, but
It's like
he's
everything's
also
sticky
living in
together.
a sewer, though. Like, if you take him out of the sewer, maybe he ups his
What,
game.
and like get him a 3D printer and stuff? That's not his style.
No,
He's not gonna
but
do
come
that.
on. He doesn't even know that's an option to be his style.
Wait, are they all still teenagers?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's a fair point.
They're 18.
Well, what state are we in here? Are we still in New York?
Exactly.
need to go
And
to
honestly,
Thailand.
if we're marrying,
I know a
or if
couple
we're
kids
having
who are
any
too
sort
old.
of connection with
Sexual
Mutant Ninja Turtles, like, who are we telling about it?
Well, the Mary thing, I feel like, is a.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to fill out a license.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And if you're in the wrong state, you're gonna have to do a blood test.
Does the shell come off?
Yeah, where are their genitals?
I don't know how turtles work.
Hey, that leaves a mystery for the wedding night. You know what I mean?
Or at least the third
You
date.
know what I mean? Well, hey everybody, welcome to another CineFix Now Roundtable. We got started without you. So this week, since we lost last week to Thanksgiving, we missed out on that. We've got a couple of weeks worth of stuff that we can catch up on. But mostly the most important thing are we got 3 pretty major trailers. Land within, what, 6 days of each other, something like that?
Yeah.
Star Wars trailer, Jurassic World trailer, and the Terminator trailer. So,
Can we call the Star Wars trailer a real trailer? Because
I
that
think
was
so, but let's
88
get into
seconds.
it. I mean,
A teaser.
It's a teaser trailer, but I always object to the very nature of teaser trailers, and this one I was okay with. Because it was a movie that I feel like I wanted to see teased.
yeah.
You know?
Well, it's not.
There's the Millennium Falcon in it. All right, I'm in.
It's also not the thing that Terminator did, which was, and I think Jurassic World
yeah.
did it too,
Both
where it was
did.
like
The teaser trailer,
a gif,
trailer.
a tease of the teaser trailer. Like
That's
that.
bullshit.
That is
that
messed
thing
up.
was
Stop
bullshit
teasing
because it was
Yeah.
like there's Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and I'm like, I knew that.
We already
Go
knew.
away.
James Bond just did the same thing with that, like, here's the font for the new movie. I'm like, thanks.
That's so cool.
I did like that there was a weird little gif for like, hey, we're gonna tell you guys the title on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the teaser.
It's a tease to a tease to a tease to a tease to
a tease to a press conference.
Yeah.
Is what it was. It was kind of amazing. But sticking with the trailers, I think there's something very important that we need to decide once and for all, and that's which one of these trailers won.
Yeah.
Because one of them objectively beat the other two at some contest.
Well, this is a question of taste.
Sure.
I'm gonna fire the opening salvo here.
Do it.
I'm gonna say Terminator.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I agree.
No, okay.
How is this even fair?
I'm gonna say because the degree to which it exceeded my previous expectations, and I think everybody's expectations. It's just like it's the biggest enthusiasm booster I've seen.
So your metric is how low the bar was
Yes,
to
right.
begin with?
No, I mean,
completely agree
I
with
feel
that.
like how
That's like
effective a
throwing,
marketing
like-
tool it is.
Like that's like you're a boxer and you throw 3 fights just so that you can beat the next guy to death.
Which is arguably what Star Wars did. 3 losses, 1 win.
Yeah, but Terminator has had nothing but bad press, you know, especially with like, you know, the synopsis would come out and they got negative reception. Those pictures came out, which I'm starting to think was a brilliant Fox marketing plan
Well, and
to
I think-
tenderize us just in time to go, no, this movie's going to be awesome.
And I think they deliberately wrote that synopsis poorly.
Yeah,
like
totally.
they put the pops in there for no reason, except so that we can mock.
The name got a bad reception.
Yeah, exactly.
Genisys got a bad
Everything did. And then this trailer came out and it looks awesome.
Well, part of it looks awesome because that's my vote for why I think Star Wars wins is because Jurassic Park starts off awesome.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World starts off awesome, and then you get to Chris Pratt with the Raptors, and you're like, fuck this shit.
But that's like one shot.
Yeah.
But that sets it up so that now my expectations of the movie got high and then just destroyed.
Yeah.
Then with Terminator Genisys, I thought all of the future stuff was super silly and ridiculous, and so I was like, oh, it is gonna be really, it's great.
Well, then she drove a truck through the store, and I was like, yeah.
She's like she's doing a Linda Hamilton, and it works.
She kinda looks like
and
Linda
she kind of
Hamilton.
looks, and she's
Yeah.
hot, and I got into it. But with Star Wars, I was just like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
so
So it
here's the thing.
wins. So it wins.
but most people are already, half the audience is already ready to love it, even if it's crap.
That doesn't matter, though. That's not what we're talking about.
I was ready to Jar Jar Binks and hate it.
It's not fair. Star Wars is nerd cake, and everything below that is nerd vegetables. Terminator is like nerd broccoli. It's like we'll line up for a bad Star Wars movie. They don't have to show us anything that's good.
But here's the thing about like, because the Terminator, I see your point about the low bar and like in terms of how much how much more you want to go see it now after since before you saw it, but it was basically like every other trailer. Like it was. There was some like you said, there was some weird stuff up front. You're like, okay. Oh, cool, driving a truck through the thing. Oh, cool, I recognize that line. Oh, cool, there's some more CG. All right, I'm done. And that was it. So it was a very familiar trailer, and I didn't think it was a very good one.
I liked it because it felt like Terminators 1 and 2.
But not even.
The last second half of it.
Oh, yeah, no, like,
Right.
okay, if the movie takes place 50% in the lame-ass future, then, yeah,
That's too much.
But if there's like a 10-minute intro and then it's like 90% in the contemporary.
But that doesn't change the fact that she calls him Pops.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the fact that she calls him Pops.
It does
Like,
do
she's
that.
still gonna call him Pops. It's like we all.
But that's the thing. I
gonna
almost
scream
feel
and
like
shoot
they
guns at some
wrote
point.
that marketing copy and maybe she calls him Pops like once in the movie and they were trying to base it.
They were like, maybe they'll think it's cool.
But this is
Just gonna leave it right here.
Terminator laid it all out. They're like, this is our plan. I know everyone doesn't think we're going to do a good job, but this is what we're trying to do. And I think people have been like warm to it. Star Wars, nobody even talks in the trailer. It's literally just VO. It's funny because that is.
Andy Serkis would disagree.
Well, exactly, because he just has a big long VO, which, by the way, is most like most of the trailers we've gotten over the last few years, like the Star Trek trailers, where it's just Benedict Cumberbatch talking to the whole thing. Like, almost nothing was revealed. So it kind of wins based on the fact that it doesn't look like crap. But I wouldn't say that it was necessarily awe-inspiring.
Well, here's the argument about it that it doesn't show anything. Like, no, there's not a whole lot in there because it's 6 shots
And
or whatever,
it's a
something like that.
teaser trailer,
but
so.
like, it's to me, it was just the perfect like tone piece.
Oh,
It was just like, here, this is the energy, this is the tone of the movie. It's going to be like, there's this atonal music that starts playing, and everybody's running from something, and oh, God, scary. And then, like, hey, John Williams and the Millennium Falcon, and everything's going to be great, and here comes the hero, But just as a tone piece, it was so perfect. It was basically just like, here's a few things to prove to you that we didn't it up.
Also,
Exactly.
And that's what I was so impressed with. And they did it in, half a dozen shots.
Clint, are you that guy who got the tattoo of the soccer ball robot on your leg the day it came out? Are you that guy? No.
Was there that guy?
There's a guy.
hey, that guy exists.
That guy exists. It's real.
Oh, it's gonna be weird when that little robot is totally a racist.
Or he's got it on his leg.
I do have to agree, though, with Lacey that my favorite is Terminator because it was a foregone conclusion that I was not going to see this movie. I was just like,
written it
no.
off.
Genisys with a Y, that's a stripper's name.
It's funny because it's true.
And then I watched the trailer, and like you said, there's nothing particularly innovative or new about it, but it's just
It
got
looks like
all,
every other sci-fi movie.
all that cool futuristic stunt shit that we want to see. It's got a T, probably 1000 because he can liquefy, like coming out of the hood of a car.
Ghost writing.
He's T1000 is ghostwriting that whip. That's amazing.
Even as someone who's not really a fan of Star Wars, I am on board to see this one because it does look interesting based off the teaser trailer, but I still feel more excited to see Terminator.
Can we all just agree that Jurassic World
Yeah,
lost?
I was just
think
gonna.
so.
Apparently, Jurassic World lost. I thought it was a great trailer. I think Pratt's line about depends on what kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab is as cheese dick as it gets.
Yes.
Like that is a pretty.
But it's
that's
so
a pretty,
cheese dick that like it melts over the rest of the trailer.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the rest of the trailer feels super campy.
Yeah.
I was really
Yeah.
impressed with how they built the actual trailer though, because they used more or less the exact same shots from the first Jurassic Park of like the Jeep driving past the brachiosaurs or whatever they were, and now it's a little bubble with kids in it, going through the doors and all that
I
stuff.
don't think anyone lost. I mean, the thing is, they all look.
No. Somebody lost. That's what we have to decide.
Jurassic Park
The problem
lost.
with Jurassic Park is with that, especially with the last shot with the raptor gang. It's sort of like you do a montage of Bond and you see him saving the world and fighting the bad guys, and then you put in the one shot of him like slapping a woman, and then you go back to him and you're like,
Hang on.
why'd you put that in there? That I was with you until you put that part.
Are you like Chris Pratt has a raptor gang, and that is on par with beating women?
Because it makes no sense. It's so frustrating.
The place is a zoo.
How
kill
fucking
you.
great would a Blackfish version of Jurassic Park be?
That was my
That might be
main
what we
thought
get.
from the trailer. I never did bother looking up what the name of that like whale shark dinosaur thing is, but whatever it was, you can't treat it like Shamu. You can't just have audience splash zone. Thing can jump up and eat all the people.
All they feed me is sharks.
Yeah, honestly, before that trailer went cheese dick, I was just watching the opening shots where everyone's just at Jurassic Park and enjoying it. And I was almost looking at it like it was a documentary, just like, God, did they not learn anything from last time? Why is this place still open?
And I think it was very similar in that respect to the Star Wars teaser, in that it used these images that you're all familiar with to be like, hey, here's what we're doing, and here's how we're tweaking it.
But Terminator did that more. I mean, there are so many moments.
Which is why this is an interesting sort of trio of trailer, because these are
Star
all
Wars sort of
franchises we grew
It's
up
like
on.
the
To the
reboot
least
face off.
extent,
Yeah.
because
Really
I mean, except for the Millennium Falcon, it was.
Well, I mean, it's 88 seconds versus 2.5 minutes.
That's
for the
true.
other ones.
Like it was like it's like there are going to be stormtroopers and Sith and speeders.
No, but I think even Star Wars was like there were things like, look, we're on a desert planet and we didn't cover it with 7,000 mammoths behind him. Like, look, we have a cutesy like family-friendly moment, but it's not an annoying character that's going to drive you insane and want to make you to kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, JJ is so good at like rebranding stuff. I mean, he did so much for Star Trek for the first movie. I think he made it cool for a lot of people who didn't think it was cool.
Oh, yeah,
the first movie, that second one, and I think I think we all were just relieved that it looks awesome, like the first Star Trek, and, Star Wars, and I think that's that's great. It's just I think going back to what T said, it's just like everyone thought Terminator was going to be the biggest piece of crap ever. That was going to be Salvation #2, and it doesn't look like that. That's really exciting.
And maybe that's why I think Jurassic Park lost for me. Jurassic World lost for me is because Star Wars, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be awesome. It just confirming my belief that it was going to be awesome. Terminator was like, I have no faith in this at all.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I don't have faith in it. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I actually will go see this movie. Jurassic World, for some reason, I don't know why, I had created this expectation that they were going to, like, do it right this time. But, yeah, for some reason, I had built this expectation that it was going to be at least good, and I just don't think
So
it
the
is.
who won the trailer contest that we just now invented has turned into a conversation about like managed expectations and like
Oh yeah, it's all
like
about
I didn't
the,
think I thought you like before you saw any of the trailers, Terminator was way down here, Jurassic World was somewhere in here, and Star Wars was kind of up here, and even if like it just the distance that Terminator traveled still doesn't make it as good as Star Wars, that's still a win.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, that's all trailers are about. This is what the conversation we had last time, right? We're like, we don't have anything to go on. It's just a trailer.
Yeah, but just make a decision, man.
if both
Just make a baseless decision
if both
on a
Star
contest
Wars-
that's not a real thing. Come on, what's wrong with
I
that?
did. I laid them out in a line.
Star Wars and Terminator could both be like 9 out of 10s, let's say. And I feel like
That's optimistic.
this is to standardize a baseline. But like, let's say they're both really quite good, and I love them both.
They're both above a 7.
I feel like there will be more I loved about the Star Wars than the Terminator Salvation or
It's
Terminator
nerd
Genisys,
Yeah.
whatever. You
For
know.
some
Nerd cake or
reason,
broccoli.
Terminator just feels a little bit dirtier. It's like, it feels like Terminator is Showtime and Star Wars is HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just like,
Boys.
I don't think you've been watching enough HBO. HBO is
Discovery Channel.
It's me.
So did we reach an accord? Is it Terminator, Star Wars, Jurassic World? Jurassic World clearly lost.
Yeah.
I
I
think we
think we
can
only
decide.
agree on who lost because the Terminator faction agrees strongly, but the Star
Well,
Wars.
and I'd put Star Wars as a very, very close second. I
You
don't.
need a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, as a non-Star Wars fan,
Okay.
again, like I don't think Star Wars was bad by any means,
And
but
I'm-
I'm definitely way more excited to see that Terminator actually stands a chance of being decent.
I'm glad they came out a week apart because then I'd really have to take this thing seriously.
And also, we got to see a lot more of Terminator than we did Star Wars.
But then
Yeah.
here's another thing. Like culturally, another Star Wars trailer coming out is more of an event than Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about what movie we're most excited for.
Yeah, no,
I think
we-
Star Wars would win hands down in that discussion.
Well, you're talking about what movies you were least expecting.
I think mine is
Yeah.
still Inherent Vice.
Well, look, the important thing is I think we came up with some way of objectively measuring subjective stuff, which is always my goal.
And at least as important as Mary Kill with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, well, that was a much more difficult discussion. I think we agreed
And
way more on the
lengthier.
trailers.
Yes.
Yeah. We
Much
really
less-
didn't have a clear choice for the.
Yeah. Donatello got left out completely, though. I feel like we mostly agreed on that.
Well, I'm still pulling for the Mary
And
hand.
then again, he's a tinkerer. If you fuck him, he'll probably like hook you up with some
That's what I said.
without even
He's-
having to marry.
There needs to be a mistress category. And Donatello would go in the
that's where you were going with the tinkering.
Well,
thing.
you might like fix my car or something
Sure.
if I like, pump him off. I don't know.
Hey.
Or he might tinker on you.
If that's how it
You're
works,
into
we
that.
don't even know how it works.
Yeah. 'Cause brakes are out again, Donatello. You want to come over? So I can pump you
I
off?
know how this works.
Yeah. Look, the important thing is we are abusing the trust of these poor turtles.
I know the shredder stresses you out, so I'll give you some relief if you just.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about anything else? What else happened over the past couple of weeks? Suicide Squad. got a
Suicide
big,
Squad.
Look, well, let's talk more generally about.
Can we briefly talk about Ryan Reynolds is dead?
Oh, yes!
And it is happening. It is happening.
Yes, that
Does
happened
anyone else
Thursday.
find it a little weird when actors like move on from playing one comic book character to another? Like this happened to me with Chris
Pratt?
Evans.
Evans.
I was just like, but no, you're Human Torch, man. You're not Captain America.
Affleck will always be Daredevil. You can lie to yourself in the mirror all you want, Ben.
But either way, man, the short tone piece, the short that they did,
Pitch
was
perfect.
so good.
The real like recasting of a superhero actor or comic book actor that I think is going to be a thing is Tom Hardy.
Well, it's funny because my girlfriend brought that up, but I was like, it's almost like they chose the hardest thing to ever compare with Bane for him because it's like I know that didn't make any sense, but the thing is, as Bane, it's like he had a mask, he had a bald head, he had the most ridiculous voice no one else would ever do ever.
Yeah.
He had a ridiculous
So when I
voice
think
in
of
a
Bane-
movie where Batman had a ridiculous
Yeah,
voice, and
like-
that's still the ridiculous voice we talk
I know that
Yeah.
Tom Hardy played that character, but I don't see Tom Hardy as that character.
Look, Tom Hardy, Jai Courtney, and Sam Worthington are all white guys that you can't really tell apart.
Right.
I'll take Tom Hardy over the other two put together. If you mush them together and make them twice as powerful, I think Tom Hardy's still.
Well, Tom Hardy's a great actor, and he's the best actor. But I also think Jai Courtney.
Wait, the best like
Of
ever?
all the actors?
Of all of
Those
them?
three guys.
Of every actor.
I'm glad it
In all the
wasn't
land?
just me.
She's like, I have my Meryl Streep hand slap.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but and I think and looking at how they cast Suicide Squad, it's interesting to see just the difference between DC and Marvel casting. Because you get Will Smith and Tom Hardy and Jared Leto who's doing huge things, and they get and it started with Batfleck too.
Yeah.
Because they get like big stars to come in and play these people, whereas Marvel gets like
Amy Adams.
yeah, and then
They
Marvel,
get like B-listers that they make A-listers.
and then now Chris Evans is Captain America. And now I would have a harder time seeing Chris Evans go be another superhero at this point.
Right.
You know what I find really interesting though is like they're really iconic heroes other than Batman are relative unknowns. Most people didn't know Henry Cavill. If you weren't familiar with the Fast and Furious franchise, you didn't know Wonder Woman. If you didn't see Game of Thrones, you wouldn't know Momoa. Same thing with the new Flash. But it's like everyone in the Suicide Squad that almost no one knows are almost all like big A-list actors.
that's
Yeah,
the two of them, and that's really unusual. I find because it's like they're really. I'm very interested in the Suicide Squad movie now.
But even when you look at Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, like the supporting cast.
Did you say Man O Steel?
Man of Steel?
Oh, Man of Steel.
Faster than a locomotive.
Have you had your Man of Steel this morning, Jimmy?
I can jump that building in a single bound. I can.
So if you look at Man of Steel, the supporting cast is all giant.
Great.
I mean,
Yeah.
really well-known actors, which even in the Marvel movies they don't really. Other than
Russell
maybe
Crowe in
Sam
there.
Jackson. Other than maybe Redford, there's no like Will
Nobody-
Smith.
nobody was
or
A-list
we're
heading
going
into
after
Marvel.
Oprah.
By the way, that will be the greatest moment of all time if she plays her.
Amanda Waller?
They're gonna go for Oprah, but they're gonna end up with Whoopi.
I would be okay with Whoopi.
Both Academy Award winning actresses.
Yeah.
I would love.
Whoopi's an EGOTer.
She's an EGOTer, for Christ's sake.
That would be the best. Amanda Waller, is a great character and very imposing, very powerful. And, Oprah's such a great actress who doesn't really act that
Who's
much.
literally the most powerful woman in the world.
Yeah, she would be absolutely perfect.
And-
wonderful.
We all know that part of the reason that we all get excited and smiley whenever anybody says Oprah is half because she's cool and half because we're f***ing terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wouldn't that be amazing if she's handing out the assignment to the Suicide Squad? She says, "Everybody look under your seats!" And they have to pull out the file and they just start flipping through it. That's just how she talks.
You get a neck chip. You get a neck chip. Everybody gets a neck chip.
And then
except for you, Sam.
You know what I also find really interesting is, when Heath Ledger got put on for the Joker, lots of people freaked out. It's like, how could the gay cowboy be, the Joker? No one said anything about Jared Leto. No one has said this is terrible. Most people are just like, oh, he's good. I think a lot of that is because of the road paved by Heath Ledger. But I find it interesting, very few people really making anything.
I'm kind of expecting a very Heath Ledger-ish performance out of Jared Leto.
I don't think so. I think he's going to do something different. I think he can. I think it's going to be too weird.
Well, I agree. And I think it's going to be real weird.
They're having the Joker and Harley Quinn in the same movie, and even if she's not Harley Quinn yet, even if she's just going to become Harley Quinn in the process of the movie, their dynamic automatically makes him a different character.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
You could never date the Joker from Dark Knight.
Right.
Yeah.
Says you. Okay. Batman, the Joker, and Two-Face.
F, Mary, kill.
Well, you gotta marry Batman
For the
because
money.
ka-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kill Two-Face because he's dead already anyway.
Yeah, the Joker would be fun on the set.
Right.
Until he decides that exploding sex toys are a good time.
The thing about
Pumps you up
Two-Face.
with a joy buzzer.
That sounds. Some people like that. That chick from 50 Shades of Grey would love that.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
But going back to Jack Nicholson's Joker, though, he did a number on his little sex toy there. That was pretty f***ed up.
Yeah.
He was real fun.
Let us not forget that girl. Because that poor girl.
Also, did we mention Jai Courtney is also going to be in Suicide?
Yeah, again, okay, let's talk about Jai Courtney.
Huge.
Jai Courtney in Jack Reacher
Awesome.
was the best part of Jack Reacher.
By far.
He had this great presence, and he was this angry, threatening guy, and
It's one of the first times in a Tom Cruise movie I was like, the bad guy could totally kill Tom Cruise.
That's why the whole fight scene at the end, I'm like, I don't believe any of this. This guy would whoop Jack Reacher's ass.
Totally.
And then Live Free or not Live Free. Good Day to Die Hard.
Not his fault. That movie was terrible.
Right, you can't blame him.
He's got a list of movies on his resume now. There's like, well, you can't blame him. You can't blame him.
Yeah, but at some point, you have to.
Exactly. No, exactly. And we're getting really close to this point where it's like, look, the guy has never made anything better. Jai Courtney there's this weird phenomenon, and it's happened with Sam Worthington, it's happened with Taylor Kitsch, to where somebody is just like, by the way, guys, this is the next big thing. I don't understand why.
At what point does he become the herald of the cinematic apocalypse? Where it's like, that movie's going to be terrible, Jai Courtney's in it. And just him being there, it's like, the movie's not going to get any better than that.
I think he's ultimately slightly better than those guys, and I think the reason is because he just do a little more. Sam Worthington, I've liked him in things, but first off, he can almost never not do an Australian accent. When he tries, he fails miserably, and it's weird. And also, it completely cuts off his ability to be charismatic at all. Like, he is like a cardboard box robot that acts. Taylor Kitsch, same thing. He's so, incapable, usually, of emoting much. So
he was great as, a part-time criminal fullback.
There was
Friday Night Lights.
emotion there.
He's a very good supporting emotion kid, but as the action hero is a different kind of acting.
Yeah.
People keep trying to make another action hero. We've had an entire roundtable on whither art the action hero.
Right.
I feel like everybody's like, okay, who's the third guy gonna be billed in this movie? Let's get Jai Courtney for it. And he's like the
He's
default.
got a really good agent.
He's like the default number 3.
Look, you need those action guys.
No, let's get somebody new in there. He's had his 3 chances.
No, that's exactly right. He's
You've been in
listen,
3 bad movies.
What are we gonna do with all these giant Courtneys?
he's not going to take roles from Tom Hardy. He's not Tom Hardy caliber. He's not a great actor like that. But he's perfect for Kyle Reese. He's like one of those guys from the 80s that like is
He's
gonna
a guy who's going to get in there and not screw it up, and that's it.
he's cool.
And that's disappointing.
But here's the thing, like, Hollywood does that, right? Like, they've done it. That's what they do. They pick
someone,
and it's a problem.
And they're like,
we're gonna look. I actually really like Shailene Woodley. I thought she was terrible on TV. She won me over with The Descendants. She like did great in A Fault in Our Stars. Is she an action hero? No.
The CG version of her is.
The CG version of her is. But I don't buy her as an action hero, but Hollywood still has to try because those are the only movies Hollywood's making.
But what's interesting is, Jack Courtney's playing Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad, and he's sort of the bad apple that ruins the bunch.
That was Jack Courtney?
He's
He's literally in everything.
He's everywhere.
He's like
gonna be in
corn
Suicide
syrup.
Squad, yeah. And the thing about Captain Boomerang is he's like, he's evil and vicious, and he's a racist, and he messes with people, and talks people into committing suicide by mistake. Like, he's the worst character in the Suicide Squad, and so he's gonna have to do.
So I have even less faith in that movie now because they put Jack Courtney in that particular role. If you tell me Tom Hardy's playing that guy, I'm like, ooh.
Well, no, Tom Hardy's even more interesting because Rick Flag, that character, he's a military guy who was forced to lead these criminals, and he hates them.
Well, what did we cover today? Okay. Let us know down in the comments below which Ninja Turtle you would marry, fuck, or kill, and which one would just get left out completely because there's no 4th option. Star Wars, Jurassic World, or Terminator. Which trailer won? I already forgot where we left it.
I think Terminator won.
I think there was 1A, 1B, and last place. And then Jack Courtney. What's going on with Jack Courtney? Let us know in the comments below. Click like, subscribe, come back next time.
I'm
for more movie news.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I bet he's very pleasant.
He's probably like the coolest guy on like the planet.
I would love to be friends with him, honestly.
He is.
Guess who's joining Suicide Squad? We've got John Travolta! Up with hope, down with dope. Let's do this.